What if the reason your hair feels thinner every year isn't just age, but something you're missing before bed? Stick around and drop your age in the comments. I want to know who I'm guiding today. As we grow older, hair thinning can feel inevitable. But the real story beneath the scalp is less about birthdays and more about the support systems you give your body every day. This isn't medical advice, it's educational. If you have medical conditions, allergies, or take medications, always check with your healthcare provider before making changes to your routine. Here's a simple idea. A single walnut in the evening can become part of a supportive lifestyle for hair health. Hair follicles are tiny, highly active manufacturing plants. They need raw materials, healthy fats, minerals, amino acids, and oxygen delivered through proper circulation. The National Institutes of Health explains that nutrients like essential fatty acids, zinc, selenium, biotin, and antioxidants contribute to normal cellular function, and hair follicles are some of the most metabolically active cells in the body. When your body lacks consistent nourishment, follicles shift faster into resting and shedding phases, making hair appear thinner and slower to grow. Walnuts are especially interesting because they naturally contain plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, as well as vitamin E compounds and polyphenols. Research indexed in PubMed highlights that omega-3s help maintain healthy inflammatory balance. Think of inflammation like background noise. When it's too loud for too long, normal repair processes can be disrupted. Antioxidants in walnuts help your body manage oxidative stress, which increases with age and contributes to gradual tissue wear, including in the scalp. While walnuts aren't a treatment for hair loss, their nutrient profile supports overall tissue health. Timing matters too, because your body shifts into repair mode during sleep. The Cleveland Clinic explains that deep sleep supports hormone regulation and cellular restoration. During these hours, energy is reallocated toward rebuilding and maintenance. Eating a light, nutrient-rich snack before bed rather than a heavy, sugary one aligns with this restorative window. A common mistake many people make is focusing solely on topical treatments like oils and shampoos, forgetting that hair grows from within. Another is avoiding fats due to outdated dietary fears. Healthy fats are structural components of cell membranes, including those in the scalp. The goal isn't to rely on one food as a miracle solution, but to see it as part of a larger system. Balanced eating, gentle movement to encourage circulation, and stress management all shape the internal environment that follicles rely on. Walnuts offer a compact source of these supportive nutrients, fitting into the broader pattern described by institutions like the NIH. Hair health is systemic, reflecting the overall health of your body. Steady, sustainable habits, rather than short-term fixes, support follicles the most. Hair thinning after 60 isn't random. It mirrors how the body gradually manages growth, repair, and circulation. Hair grows in cycles, an active growth phase, a transition phase, and a resting phase before shedding. Youthful growth phases last longer, producing thicker, denser strands. With age, growth windows shorten, resting phases dominate, and hair appears finer and slower to grow. The Mayo Clinic notes that aging naturally changes hair texture, thickness, and growth rate due to hormonal shifts, genetics, and overall regenerative capacity. This doesn't mean thinning is unavoidable, but lifestyle factors can influence how supportive your internal environment is for follicles. Think of the scalp like garden soil. Follicles are seeds that need nutrients and oxygen delivered consistently. Circulation efficiency declines with age, so tiny blood vessels may not feed follicles as robustly as before. When circulation is less efficient, follicles may not get the steady supply of amino acids, iron, zinc, and essential fatty acids they rely on for normal function. This isn't something that happens overnight. It's gradual, shaped by sedentary habits, chronic stress, and dietary patterns. Hormones also play a role. Both men and women experience shifts later in life that influence hair cycles, subtly affecting how long follicles remain in the growth phase. The Cleveland Clinic notes that these age-related hormonal fluctuations can contribute to thinning patterns. While these changes are natural, supporting overall hormonal balance through sleep, stress management, and balanced nutrition helps maintain a healthier internal environment for hair. A common misconception is that genetics alone determine hair thinning. Another is reacting with extreme diets that deprive the body of nutrients crucial for follicle function. Inflammation and oxidative stress increase with age, quietly affecting tissues including the scalp. Research indexed in PubMed frequently explores how oxidative stress contributes to aging processes. Antioxidant-rich foods, healthy fats, and consistent nutrient intake may help the body manage this stress more effectively. This is why whole food patterns matter more than isolated products. Instead of relying solely on topical treatments, focus on daily movement to encourage blood flow, balanced meals including protein and healthy fats, and consistent sleep schedules. Sleep is often overlooked but crucial. During deep sleep, your body engages in repair and regulatory processes that influence tissues system-wide. Harvard Health Publishing emphasizes that chronic sleep deprivation disrupts hormonal balance and increases stress responses, both of which can influence hair shedding. Late-night screen exposure, irregular sleep times, and heavy evening meals indirectly affect hair by disturbing restorative cycles. Ultimately, hair thinning after 60 reflects interconnected systems: circulation, hormones, nutrition, stress, and sleep. While aging cannot be reversed, supporting these systems with steady, sustainable habits maintains a healthier scalp environment. Hair growth is energy demanding. Each follicle divides cells and produces keratin to form the shaft. During the day, the body prioritizes movement, digestion, thinking, and responding to stress. At night, especially during deep sleep, it shifts toward restoration. The Cleveland Clinic explains that sleep supports tissue repair, immune regulation, and hormonal balance, with growth-related hormones more active during deep cycles. While sleep alone doesn't regrow hair, poor sleep quietly interferes with conditions that support healthy follicles. Think of nighttime as a maintenance window. If a factory runs 24/7 without downtime, machines wear out faster. Similarly, short or fragmented sleep prevents complete repair, gradually affecting circulation, inflammation balance, and hormone regulation. Harvard Health Publishing notes that chronic sleep deprivation elevates stress hormones like cortisol, which can push follicles into the resting phase. This explains why high stress or poor sleep often precedes noticeable shedding. Providing light, nutrient-dense nourishment before bed aligns with this repair phase, but the key is light. Heavy meals rich in refined sugar or saturated fats disrupt sleep by affecting blood sugar stability and digestion. The Mayo Clinic highlights that late-night eating, especially large meals, interferes with sleep patterns. Blood sugar spikes and drops trigger stress hormones that fragment rest. In contrast, a small whole food snack like a walnut gently fits into an evening routine without overwhelming digestion. Walnuts naturally contain melatonin in small amounts and provide omega-3 fatty acids. Research indexed in PubMed shows melatonin helps regulate circadian rhythms, signaling when to sleep and wake. A well-regulated internal clock supports consistent hormone release, including repair-related hormones. Omega-3s contribute to cell membrane structure and support balanced inflammatory responses. Chronic inflammation reduces repair efficiency, so these nutrients indirectly help follicles. Circulation is another factor. During deep sleep, heart rate and blood pressure lower in a coordinated rhythm, allowing the cardiovascular system to recover. Consistent, high-quality sleep supports vascular health. The NIH has published extensive research linking sleep quality and cardiovascular function. Since follicles rely on tiny blood vessels for oxygen and nutrients, maintaining circulation indirectly supports scalp health. Common mistakes include assuming topical treatments alone compensate for poor sleep, or relying on stimulating late-night habits like screens, caffeine, or intense news. Instead, create a calming pre-sleep ritual. Dim lights, limit screens, breathe slowly, and if needed, include a simple whole food snack. This aligns with the body's natural repair window. The goal isn't overnight hair regrowth, it's consistently supporting biological processes most active during sleep. When you look at a walnut, it may seem simple, but inside it carries a dense package of nutrients that interact with multiple systems in the body. Hair follicles are among the fastest dividing cells we have, meaning they need a steady supply of structural fats, trace minerals, and antioxidants. Walnuts naturally provide plant-based omega 3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. According to the National Institutes of Health, omega-3s are essential fats. Your body cannot produce them on its own and must obtain them from food. These fats become part of cell membranes, influencing how cells maintain structure and communicate. Since hair follicles are living cells in the scalp, the integrity of their membranes directly affects how efficiently they function. Walnuts also contain antioxidants, including vitamin E compounds and polyphenols. Oxidative stress happens when unstable molecules, called free radicals, outnumber antioxidants that neutralize them. Over time, oxidative stress contributes to normal aging processes in tissues throughout the body. Research indexed in PubMed frequently examines how oxidative stress affects skin and hair follicles. Think of oxidative stress like gradual wear from sunlight, pollution, and internal metabolic processes. Antioxidants act like maintenance workers, helping reduce this wear and tear. While walnuts won't reverse aging, including antioxidant-rich foods may support the body's ability to manage daily cellular stress. Trace minerals in walnuts, such as copper, zinc, and selenium, also play subtle but important roles. The Mayo Clinic explains that zinc and selenium are crucial for normal cellular function and immune support. Zinc contributes to protein synthesis and cell division directly relevant to hair production, as hair shafts are primarily keratin. Selenium supports antioxidant enzyme systems, helping protect cells from damage. Copper contributes to connective tissue formation and pigment production, which affects normal hair coloration. These nutrients work in coordination, not isolation, which is why whole foods offer balanced combinations that supplements may separate. Healthy fats in walnuts also support balanced inflammatory responses. The Cleveland Clinic notes that omega-3s are linked to cardiovascular and cellular health. Inflammation isn't inherently negative, it's part of the immune response, but chronic low-grade inflammation can influence tissues throughout the body, including the scalp. Balanced inflammation, supported by dietary patterns rich in whole foods like nuts, fruits, vegetables, and fish, aligns with broader wellness recommendations. Common mistakes include focusing only on protein when thinking about hair and ignoring the role of fats and micronutrients. Another is consuming nuts that are heavily salted, sugar-coated, or roasted in refined oils, which can counteract their natural benefits. Choosing simple, minimally processed walnuts preserves their nutrient profile. No single food works in isolation. Harvard Health Publishing emphasizes that overall dietary patterns, such as those rich in whole plant foods and healthy fats, are associated with better long-term health outcomes than relying on one superfood. In this context, walnuts are a compact, nutrient-dense option that fits into a balanced eating pattern. Their combination of essential fats, antioxidants, and trace minerals supports systems that indirectly influence hair follicle health rather than acting as a standalone solution. They contribute to the foundation of cellular nourishment, especially as the body's regenerative efficiency changes with age. Even with good nutrition, daily habits can work against healthy hair cycling, particularly after 60. Hair follicles are sensitive to internal stress signals. When the body perceives ongoing stress, emotional, physical, or metabolic, it shifts resources toward survival functions like maintaining blood pressure and blood sugar. Non-essential processes, including active hair growth, may slow temporarily. Harvard Health Publishing explains that significant or prolonged stress can push more follicles into the resting phase, often associated with increased shedding weeks or months later. Chronic stress also affects circulation. When stress hormones remain elevated, blood vessels constrict more frequently. Think of the scalp as a field that depends on irrigation. If the water supply is inconsistent, growth may not be robust. The Cleveland Clinic notes that long-term stress influences cardiovascular responses and inflammatory balance. Hair follicles rely on tiny capillaries to deliver oxygen and nutrients, so supporting cardiovascular health through gentle daily movement, like walking, indirectly benefits the scalp. Another overlooked factor is blood sugar stability. Highly processed snacks, especially late at night, can trigger spikes and crashes. The Mayo Clinic highlights that repeated blood sugar fluctuations may lead to systemic stress responses. Choosing fiber and healthy, fat-rich whole foods helps promote steadier energy levels, which is why plain nuts are often recommended in balanced diets. Sleep disruption is another major factor often overlooked, especially for seniors. Many experience fragmented sleep due to irregular schedules, late-night screen exposure, or heavy evening meals. The National Institutes of Health has published extensive research showing how insufficient sleep affects hormonal regulation and inflammatory pathways. Hair growth depends on a coordinated hormonal environment, so repeated sleep disturbances can influence shedding patterns over time. Creating a calming wind-down routine, dimming lights, limiting screens, and maintaining consistent bedtime supports the body's natural circadian rhythm, which regulates many restorative processes. Extreme dieting is another underestimated trigger for hair thinning. Rapid calorie restriction or cutting out entire food groups can deprive the body of protein, iron, zinc, and essential fats nutrients, vital for normal follicle function. Research indexed in PubMed highlights how nutritional deficiencies often lead to temporary hair shedding. During periods of scarcity, the body prioritizes essential organs, and hair production may temporarily reduce. Balanced eating patterns that include adequate protein, healthy fats, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains provide more consistent support for follicles. Chasing quick fixes is also a common mistake. Aggressive brushing, harsh chemical treatments, or constantly switching hair products can add mechanical stress, leading to breakage that may appear like hair loss. Gentle scalp massage, on the other hand, encourages local circulation without damage. Overall, a clear pattern emerges. Hair health reflects systemic health, supporting circulation, stabilizing blood sugar, protecting sleep quality, managing stress, and maintaining balanced nutrition creates the foundation follicles need. Steady, sustainable habits outperform dramatic short-term interventions. Creating a simple, practical nighttime routine can make a meaningful difference, especially for seniors. While no single food or habit will reverse age-related hair changes, combining consistent lifestyle patterns can improve the internal environment follicles rely on. One of the most effective approaches focuses on the pre-sleep window, when the body naturally shifts into repair and restoration. Finishing dinner a few hours before bed, dimming the lights, limiting screens, engaging in gentle breathing exercises, and including one plain walnut can prepare the body for a more restorative night. This is educational guidance, not a prescription. Always consult a healthcare provider if you have allergies, medical conditions, or dietary restrictions, as nuts can trigger reactions in some people. The walnut serves as a compact source of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and trace minerals. Research from PubMed and the NIH suggests these nutrients support cellular function and may indirectly contribute to healthier hair follicle environments. Consistency matters more than quantity. One walnut before bed every night may seem small, but the impact comes from steady incorporation into a routine that supports sleep, nutrition, and stress management. Hair follicles operate on cycles spanning weeks to months, so supportive habits accumulate gradually rather than delivering immediate results. Harvard Health Publishing emphasizes that steady, moderate approaches to nutrition, movement, and sleep improve physiological resilience. This includes enhanced metabolic and cardiovascular support, which indirectly benefits follicles. Treating hair health as a long-term project rather than a quick fix allows the body's natural regenerative systems to operate efficiently. Drastic, multiple changes at once can be counterproductive, even increasing stress, which may push follicles into resting phases prematurely. Sleep quality is especially critical in this nighttime routine. During deep sleep, growth-supporting hormones, including growth hormone, are released to aid tissue repair and cellular regeneration. The Cleveland Clinic highlights the connection between sleep and cellular repair, noting that poor or fragmented sleep disrupts hormonal balance and raises low-grade inflammation. Hair follicles are some of the most metabolically active cells in the body, so these restorative processes help maintain a favorable environment for continued growth cycles. Avoiding stimulants, heavy meals, and bright screens 1 to 2 hours before bed helps regulate melatonin production, which governs circadian rhythm and enhances sleep quality. Mayo Clinic research shows that even modest improvements in pre-sleep routines can increase deep sleep duration and reduce nighttime awakenings, supporting systemic repair processes that extend to hair follicles. Stress management is also key. Chronic stress elevates cortisol and other stress hormones, constricting blood vessels and increasing oxidative stress, which reduces nutrient delivery to follicles. Studies cited by Harvard Health Publishing demonstrate that moderate, consistent stress-reducing practices like slow breathing, gentle stretching, or mindfulness lower cortisol levels and support better sleep quality. Pairing this with a small nutrient-dense snack, such as a walnut, provides both biochemical and lifestyle support for tissue health. Antioxidants and healthy fats in walnuts, including ALA, support cell membranes and help mitigate oxidative stress, complementing strategies that improve circulation to the scalp. Blood sugar stability plays a surprisingly important role in this nighttime routine. Late-night consumption of refined carbohydrates or sugary snacks can trigger spikes and crashes in blood glucose, prompting hormonal stress responses that interfere with sleep. Over time, these fluctuations can indirectly affect hair follicle function. Research from the National Institutes of Health highlights the importance of stable blood sugar for maintaining systemic balance, which supports normal metabolic processes and nutrient delivery. Choosing a small portion of a whole food, like a plain walnut, provides healthy fats and micronutrients without causing significant blood sugar swings. This approach aligns perfectly with broader dietary recommendations for overall health and wellness. Simplicity and sustainability are key. Overcomplicated routines or trying to adopt multiple new habits at once often create friction, reducing adherence. The National Health Service emphasizes that small, consistent lifestyle interventions are more likely to be maintained and lead to cumulative benefits. This principle is especially important for hair health, which responds slowly to supportive interventions. Integrating a small, nutrient-rich snack, a calming pre-sleep ritual, and consistent bedtime habits creates a framework that supports repair, nutrient delivery, and stress reduction each night. This gentle, manageable approach avoids overburdening the body and encourages the natural rhythms follicles rely on. Aligning behavior with the body's restorative patterns ensures that even small habits like eating one walnut before bed become part of a broader system that supports cellular function, antioxidant balance, and healthy sleep. When paired with consistent movement, balanced daytime nutrition, and effective stress management, this small habit integrates seamlessly into a sustainable lifestyle. Harvard Health Publishing and the Mayo Clinic both emphasize that health outcomes improve when routines are consistent, manageable, and aligned with biological needs. Seniors who adopt this approach can support hair follicles gradually while enhancing overall wellness. Safety remains paramount. Anyone with nut allergies or underlying medical conditions should consult a healthcare provider before adding walnuts to their routine. Small, daily practices that are consistent, nutrient-focused, and aligned with sleep and stress rhythms help build a foundation for healthier follicles over time. This approach illustrates that long-term gentle support often outperforms drastic short-term interventions. The key takeaway is consistency. Hair follicles function on cycles lasting weeks to months, so supportive habits need to accumulate gradually. According to Harvard Health Publishing, steady, moderate approaches to nutrition, movement, and sleep are linked to improved physiological resilience, including better metabolic and cardiovascular support, which indirectly benefits follicles. By treating hair health as a long-term project rather than a quick fix, the body's natural regenerative systems can operate efficiently. Implementing multiple drastic changes simultaneously can backfire, increasing stress and pushing follicles into the resting phase prematurely. Sleep quality is one of the most critical elements. During deep sleep, the body releases growth-supporting hormones involved in tissue repair and cellular regeneration. The Cleveland Clinic explains that fragmented or insufficient sleep disrupts hormonal balance and increases low-grade inflammation. Hair follicles, among the body's most metabolically active cells, rely on these restorative processes to maintain a favorable environment for continued growth. Avoiding stimulants, heavy meals, and bright screens before bed helps regulate melatonin production, which governs circadian rhythm and improves sleep quality. Stress management is equally essential. Chronic stress elevates cortisol and other stress hormones, constricting blood vessels and increasing oxidative stress, which reduces nutrient delivery to hair follicles. Harvard Health Publishing notes that even moderate, consistent stress-reducing practices like slow breathing, gentle stretching, or mindfulness can lower cortisol levels and improve sleep quality. Pairing stress reduction with a nutrient-dense evening snack, such as a walnut, provides both biochemical and lifestyle support. The antioxidants and healthy fats in walnuts support cell membranes and help mitigate oxidative stress, complementing strategies that improve circulation to the scalp. By combining these elements, nutrition, sleep, stress management, and movement, you create a system that consistently supports hair follicles. The focus shifts from chasing instant results to building long-term internal resilience, giving hair the environment it needs to thrive gradually over time. Bringing it all together, the message is clear. Hair health reflects the overall health of your body. Circulation, nutrition, sleep, stress management, and movement all play interconnected roles in creating an internal environment where follicles can function optimally. No single food, product, or habit will magically reverse age-related hair changes. Instead, steady, small, and sustainable practices accumulate over time, producing meaningful results. This is particularly relevant after 60, when the body's regenerative efficiency naturally declines, and hair follicles become more sensitive to systemic stressors. A nightly routine that includes one walnut, a calming pre-sleep ritual, and consistent bedtimes provides support on multiple levels. Walnuts are more than a snack. They carry omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and trace minerals that research from PubMed and the NIH links to improve cellular function. These nutrients help maintain healthy cell membranes, manage oxidative stress, and support balanced inflammatory responses. When combined with quality sleep and reduced stress, they contribute to the overall environment follicles depend on. Deep sleep is the window when the body focuses on repair. Growth hormones and other restorative processes peak during this time, helping maintain tissues that are actively renewing themselves, like hair follicles. Avoiding heavy meals, bright screens, and stimulants close to bedtime enhances melatonin production, aligning the circadian rhythm with the body's natural repair schedule. Harvard Health Publishing shows that consistent improvements to sleep routines can increase deep sleep duration, supporting systemic repair processes including those that nourish hair follicles. Stress management is just as critical. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, constricts blood vessels, and increases oxidative stress, limiting nutrient delivery to follicles. Gentle practices such as mindful breathing, stretching, or meditation lower stress hormones and improve sleep quality, creating better conditions for follicle growth. Adding a small, nutrient-dense snack like a walnut complements these strategies by providing essential fats, antioxidants, and minerals, all of which support cellular health and circulation to the scalp. Balanced nutrition throughout the day also reinforces this system. Whole foods rich in protein, healthy fats, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains ensure that follicles have the amino acids, trace minerals, and fats they need for normal function. Avoid extreme dieting, highly processed snacks, and refined sugars late at night, as these habits can spike stress hormones and disrupt sleep, indirectly affecting hair health. Gentle, consistent movement like walking or light stretching supports circulation, ensuring nutrients reach every part of the scalp efficiently. This approach reframes hair health as a long-term project rather than a quick fix. Treating follicles as part of a complex system shifts focus away from chasing instant results and toward building steady internal resilience. As the body receives consistent support through nutrition, sleep, movement, and stress reduction, follicles are better positioned to maintain growth cycles and reduce shedding over time. Hair thinning after 60 may not disappear completely, but supporting the underlying systems can slow the process, improve density, and strengthen the hair you already have. Consistency is the ultimate secret. One walnut before bed may seem small, but repeated nightly practice, combined with mindful sleep, balanced nutrition, stress management, and gentle movement, accumulates into meaningful support for your follicles. Over weeks and months, the effects compound, creating an environment where hair can thrive. Seniors who adopt this framework not only support their scalp, but also improve overall wellness, cardiovascular health, metabolic stability, and stress resilience all benefit. Safety remains important. Always consult a healthcare provider before adding nuts to your routine, especially if you have allergies or underlying medical conditions. Keep your approach simple, practical, and consistent. By integrating small, evidence-backed habits into your nightly routine, you are reinforcing the body's natural repair processes, nourishing follicles from within, and creating a foundation for healthier hair over time. So here's the next step. Start tonight. Finish dinner a few hours before bed, dim your lights, turn off screens, take a few slow breaths, and enjoy one plain walnut. Stick with it consistently, combine it with balanced daytime nutrition and gentle movement, and watch how your body and your hair responds over time. Leave your age in the comments and share your journey. Every small, intentional step builds towards stronger, healthier hair and a more resilient body overall.